Hey everyone, I welcome you all to this video. And in the last video, we have discussed about the questions on joins. And this session as well, we will be considering some other questions on joins. And the tables that we are basically going to use are customers, orders, and products table. And we created these tables in the previous video. And I'll be providing the create table code in the resource section. So if you have not created, you can create using that code as well. And then you can start practicing along with me. So we have selected SQL questions database, and these tables reside in SQL questions database. That's why this DB is selected. Now I will execute these three select statements to see the data contained in customers, orders, and products table. So if I will further resize it, so you can see that the first table is the customers table. It tells you about the customer's detail, that is customer ID, customer name, and the country in which the customer resides. Then we have the orders table that tells you about the order ID, about the customer ID, and then about the date on which the order was placed, and then about the product ID, the product that was placed, for which the order was placed. Then we have products table. In the products table, we have very first column that tells us about the product ID, the name of the product, and the price at which it was sold. Also, your customers table is related to the orders table through the customer ID column, because customer ID column is present in both of them, that is orders and customers table. Similarly, your orders table is related to the products table using the product ID column, because product ID column is present in products table and product ID column is present in your orders table as well. Now let's discuss about the questions. So in the very first question, you have to identify the pairs of the customers who live in same country. So if I will execute the simple select statement on customers table, so you can see that this is the data that we have. Alice and David are the customers who belong to same country, that is USA. So we need to write a piece of code that will give us the required output. So what we will do, first of all, we will be using the concept of self joins. So we will be joining this table to its own self. And when we will be joining this table to its own self, we will be doing so by applying the condition on your country column, because the country has to be same. That is the condition that has to be used. So we may write select star from customers. Let's give it an alias name as X join, or you can write in a join customers Y on X dot country is equal to Y dot country. So there is one more thing that you should keep in mind. If I will execute this piece of code, first of all, let's see what happens. If we'll execute this, so you can see that we get so many records in the output. If I'll talk about the first record, then you can see that for customer ID 1, we are getting customer ID 1 only from the second table. So the data for customer ID 1 is matching to itself. So obviously, if a person belongs to a given country and you will apply a self join, so the record will match with its own self. We do not want that the record should match with its own self, but the names of distinct customers are to be shown. Distinct means, here in this case, distinct means two different customers. Although they might be having same names, but the customer IDs should be different. But here you can see that customer ID 1 is written and again customer ID 1 is written. So customer ID 1 was matched to its own self. These cases should not happen. So in the join predicate, we should write and X dot customer ID should not be equal to Y dot customer ID. So the join should not be applied to its own self. If we will now execute this piece of code, now you will see that the first record states that Alice and David belong to same country USA, and second record states that David and Alice belong to same country, that is USA. Again, the same record is written twice. The same information is being given to us twice. So we will apply one more condition to remove any one of them. So we will write and one thing you should observe that in these two records, both of them are having different customer IDs. So we can say that display that record where any one of them is having a customer ID greater than the other. So I'm writing and X dot customer ID should be greater than Y dot customer ID. You can write the opposite of this condition as well. That is also going to work. right? We just want to eliminate one of them. That's why we have written this condition. Now select this piece of code written in line 10 and execute it. So you can see now only one record is being represented. And this is the outcome that we wanted. But again, in the select statement, we only want the names of the customers to be there. So I will remove this star and I will simply write x.customer name. So we will be bringing one customer name from the X table, and then we will be bringing second customer name from the Y table. So we will say y.customer name. If you will now execute this piece of code written in line 10 and 11, this is going to give you the names of the customers who belong to the same country. In this case, USA. USA was the answer. Now that's how you can apply self-join. You can expect this question in the interviews. You can expect these type of questions. Now let's talk about the second question. Here we have to find out the customer who has spent the most on their orders. So first of all, if I will execute these three select statements again, you will see that in the first table, the customer's name is present, while in this products table, price is present. So you need to tell the name of the customer who has spent most. So you will have to apply a join between these three tables, because when you will apply a join between customers and orders table, only then you will get to know about the product ID. And once you get to know about the product ID, only then you will be able to know about the price. So we'll have to apply an inner join basically between these three tables. So how we can do that? First of all, let's write the condition for inner join, and then we will modify it. So we can write select star. As of now, I'm writing select star. Later we'll modify it. So select star from customers. Let's give it an alias name as C. Inner join orders O on C dot customer ID to be equal to O dot customer ID. So this is the condition that has to be applied. Then again, inner join has to be applied on products table. From products table only we will bring the price. So products P, let's give it as an alias as P, and the condition will be, join predicate will be that your orders table's product ID has to be equal to your products tables, or product ID has to be equal to orders tables product ID. So we will write O dot product ID to be equal to P dot product ID, right? And if we will now execute this piece of code written in line 17, this is the outcome it's going to generate. So from this outcome, we want the customer names and we want the maximum amount spent by that particular customer. So here we will have to use, and I'm modifying the select statement. So let's bring it to the next line, half part. In place of star, we will write, since we want customer names, so I'm bringing customer names. And along with the customer names, we also want the maximum amount, most amount spent. So we will write sum of the price column. And this will give you the amount spent. So this tells you about the amount spent. And if I will now execute this statement, let's see what happens. Alright, so this shows an error because since in the select statement, we have used two columns, that is price and customer name. Aggregation has been used for price column, so that's fine. But the customer name column is also there. So that's why it needs to be put in the group by clause. Copy it. Come to the next line, write group by, and then the remaining column name. Now execute this piece of code. This is the output. So here you can see that Alice is the customer who spent the most, that is 1700. But in this case, these four cases are available where each one of them have spent a different amount, right? So there could be cases where two customers could have spent the same amount and that will be the highest amount. So in order to identify that record, the correct approach will be to use the dense rank function. So, comma, enter. And dense rank function is basically a window function. We will discuss about this later, but you'll just get an idea about that, how we can use it. Or might be you can watch the video from the window functions list, SQL function section. There is a video on there are two videos basically on window function, so you can refer those videos as well. So dense rank, bracket open, bracket close, and then you will have to mention an over clause, and inside the over clause you can mention order by sum of price descending. If you will now execute this piece of code, and let's give it an alias, this expression can be given, this dense rank expression can be given an alias name. So let's name it as TR. If I will now execute this piece of code, so you can see that a new column has been added, and for Alice, the value of that new column is equal to 1 because it is corresponding to the maximum amount spent out of all the customers available. So what we will do, we will put this whole query in a subquery, and then we will fetch the output only for dr equal to 1. So we can simply write, press enter, bracket open, then come to the end, bracket close, give a name to this subquery. Let's name it as small m. At the top, you can write select customer name from this subquery, where after m you will have to write the where condition, where dr is equal to 1. If we will now execute this piece of code, you will see that only Alice's name is being shown in the output because Alice has spent the most on certain products. So that's how this question can be answered. Now let's move on to the next question. Here we need to tell about those customers who have ordered more than one type of product. So since you want to know about the customer who have ordered more than one type of product, so we can first of all execute the two statements written from line 2 to 4, and let's have a look at the data first of all. So we can get customer ID from here, and for the customer ID, we can find out the count of the product ID. So for each customer ID, we'll get to know about the product IDs that they have ordered, right? We can know about the product IDs, and then we'll get to know that yes, these are the products that were ordered by different customer IDs. But then in order to tell about the name of the customer, we will have to apply a join between the customers table and on orders table, and that is going to be an inner join because you need to tell about the products, right? So if someone has not ordered, so how different products could be told with respect to that particular customer? So that's the problem. That's the thing. And now let's start with this problem. Fine. So I will first of all write select star from your customers table. Let's give it an alias as C, and then we will write join. Then you have orders table. Let's name it as O, and we can write on C dot customer ID has to be equal to O dot customer ID. And now if I will execute this simple select statement, you will see that it shows different customer IDs, customer names, and with respect to different customer IDs or customer names, different product IDs are also being shown to us or are also being represented. So we want to tell about those customers who have ordered more than one type of product, right? So if you can have a look at this particular data set, so you can see that Alice ordered 1001 and Alice ordered 1002 as well, while all other customers have ordered only single product that is equal to 1. So that should be validated from the data as well. So I'm removing this star. In place of this star, I will write customer name since we want customer name to be there. And then we will use the count function. And for the count function, we will find out the count of the product IDs. So we can write product ID. And since we have used two columns in the select statement, and on product ID an aggregation is being used, while on customer name no aggregation is being used. So customer name will have to be mentioned in the group by clause. Copy it from here. Come to next line, write group by customer name. And now let's execute this statement. So it shows you that Alice is the only customer who has the count greater than 1. So after this group by clause, we will apply one more condition where we will say having count of product ID greater than 1. Greater than 1. If we will now execute this piece of code, so we get Alice name only. Along with that, one more column is present there in the output, that is count of product ID, but we do not want this count of product ID. Just to explain it to you, I've included this column. So probably we can remove this column from here. And now if we will try to execute this statement, so you can see that the name of the customer, that is Alice, is being represented, right? Now you can see that in the select statement, no such column is being referred to where aggregation is being used, but still the customer name column is present in the group by clause, right? Because you can see that here we have used a condition on count of product ID. So that's why although we have not represented the count of product ID in the select statement, but in the group by we have to mention it. So these type of statements can be written in this way. That was about question number 3, Control R. Now let's come to question number 4. Now you have to list all the products and their corresponding orders using the right join, including products that have never been ordered. So we will be applying a right join because it is given in the question that you need to approach this problem using the right join. And let's first of all execute the select statement written in line 4 and 6. And let's see what is the output. So you have to tell about all those products who were that were ordered, or all those products that were not ordered even once, right? So you need to tell about all those products. So what we will do, we will apply a right join between orders table and products table, and we will keep the orders table on the left hand side of the join. So we will write select star. First of all, let's write select star from orders. Let's give it an alias O. Inner join. So for inner join, we can simply write join products. Sorry, we have to use the right join. It is given in the question, right? So right join products P on O dot products ID to be equal to P dot products ID. So if I will execute this statement, so this tells you about all the columns from both the tables, and then you can see that for product ID 1005, it was never ordered. So all the columns from the left table, that is the orders table, are basically equal to null. And now we have to list down all the products basically, right? And their corresponding orders as well we need to list down. So we have to tell about the order ID, and we need to tell about the product's name, and product ID also might be we can include. So in the select statement, we will write order ID. Then let's say from the products table, we are using the product ID. You will have to mention this P.products ID because product ID column is available in both the tables. So you either mention O.product ID or P.product ID, but you will have to mention it. Then we have comma. Right, then we have comma, the name of the product. So we can write product name. Right. So, one thing that you should note, while describing this product ID column, you will have to take it from the right table only. Because if you will look at the product ID column from the orders table, the value is null. Because corresponding to 1005, the value is equal to null because no order was placed for 1005. So you will have to write P.product ID only. And now if we will execute this statement written in line 34, This tells you about the order IDs, the product IDs, and the product names. And since order ID is equal to null for product ID equal to 1005, it means it was never ordered. Now let's talk about question number 5. So you have to retrieve all the orders placed by customers from USA. So we can simply write select star from customers. Let's give it an alias as C. Then we can write in a join orders O on C dot customer ID to be equal to O dot customer ID. These are the conditions that we have been previously applying. And now there is one more condition that you have to check. So in the where clause, you can mention where the country is equal to US. You can write where country in US. If we will now execute this statement, so this is the data that we get. For USA country, we have Alice who placed the following orders, that is order ID 101 and order ID 102. Now we have to tell about all the orders, right? So we need to tell about all orders only. So in place of star, we can write order ID. So these will be the order IDs where the orders were placed by customers from USA, right? So if we will select this and execute it, so we have two order IDs, right? David is also from USA in our customers record, but since David didn't place any order, that's why David's name didn't appear in answer to question number 5. Now let's see question number 6. Find the names of the customers who have ordered a product priced above 500. So you need to find the names of the customers who have ordered a product priced above 500. It means you have to link the customer's name to the products table. So you will have to apply the joins between 3 tables. If I'll execute these select statements again, so you can see that in the first table, we have data available for customers, then we have data available for orders, and then we have data available for products. So if you want to reach to the products table from the customers table, so you can reach through only via your orders table. Why? Because customer ID is present in customers table, customer ID is present in orders table as well. Then product ID is present in orders table, and product ID is present only in products table as well, apart from the orders table. So that's why you'll have to apply the join between the 3 tables. So first of all, let's write the simple select statement. In question number 6, we can write select star from your customers table. Let's give it an alias as C. Then in a join orders O on O dot customer ID to be equal to C dot customer ID. Then again in a join your products table having the alias P on P dot product ID to be equal to O dot product ID. If we will execute this select statement written in line 40, so this is the output that we are going to get. So we have customer ID, customer name, country, order ID, everything. Now we need to apply one condition that the records should be shown only for those cases where price column value is greater than 500. So we can write where price is greater than 500. And if we will execute it, so this is the data that we have. Number of the records reduced. Now there are only 3 records. But we do not want to show all the columns in the output. We only need to tell the names of the customers. So in place of star, we will write customer name. Now execute this piece of code written from line 39th to 41st. These are the customers who have placed the orders where the price is greater than 500. And you can see that Alice's name is present twice. So we should rather write select distinct customer name. And now let's execute this select statement written from line 40th to 42nd. So there are 2 customers who have placed the orders having price value greater than 500. Now let's talk about the 7th question. Find the customers who have ordered the same product more than once. Fine. So if we will again run the simple select statement on the customers and orders table, so you can see that if there's a customer who has ordered the same product more than once, so we should see for each customer and each product ID, what is the count of order ID, right? So if let's say for a given product, for a given customer, if the count of order ID is more than 1, it means that particular product was ordered more than once. So what we will do, we will simply apply the inner join between customers and orders table. So we will write, first of all, let's write select star. So we will write select star from customers C on orders O inner join. Sorry, customers here we will write inner join. Inner join orders O on C dot customer ID to be equal to O dot customer ID. So this join is to be applied if we will run the simple select statement. So this is the data that we get, but we want something else. So we will remove this star from the select statement. We will write customer name. Then after the customer name, we also want the name of the product. So we will write, sorry, the product ID we want. So we will write product ID, then comma, count of order ID. Now, since we have used this aggregate function on order ID column, and apart from this, 2 other columns are also present in the select statement. So we will have to mention them in the group by clause. Enter group by these 2 columns, that is customer name and product ID. Now let's run the select statement. So all of them, each one of them are having the count of the order ID to be equal to 1. And you need to name the customers who have ordered any given product more than once. So that is not the case. Even Alice has ordered 2 products, that is product ID 1001 and 1002, but these are different product IDs. So again, we can use the having clause and we can say having your count of order ID to be greater than 1. And if you will execute this statement, you will get no output basically. Greater than 1, sorry, you will get no output. Why? Because there is no such customer. And we need to tell only the name of the customer, right? It is not required to consider to give any other name, any other thing in the output. So what we can do, we can put this SQL code inside a subquery, and we will say select distinct customer name from, you need to give this subquery a name. So let's name it as M, and let's name it as customer name. Fine. So let's execute this. Fine. All right. So here we can write M dot customer name, and then we may execute it. Also, this count should be given an alias name, right? So let's name it as count. And now let's execute this code. So you can see that no customer name is being represented or present here, because actually there was no customer who has ordered a given product more than once. So I hope this video was helpful and you got an understanding about the joins and with respect to, because of these questions that we have taken on joins. And I'll be coming up with more questions. We'll be adding more questions to this SQL question section and to the advanced SQL question section as well. So we'll meet in the next session. Till then, thank you. Bye-bye.